So one of the things that we want to make sure happens for you guys is that we're answering your questions. So drop those in the comments, and we'll do the best that we can. But we also want to make sure we share with you guys extra stuff. There's plenty that doesn't make it into the 42 minutes. We were there for 2 nights. Each night was like 8 to 10 hours of investigation. So our first clip is from Anna, who, if you guys don't know already, she's fantastic. She does something very original. They're called OM readings, very druidic nature sense stuff. And our first bonus is a reading that she did in the orphanage. So let's cut to that now, producer Nick.
Okay, so we've got some toys.
We do. So I have a set of Ogham sticks here, and basically what that means is it's another way for me to communicate with you. If there's one that speaks to you, you can kind of give it to me or pick it out, and it'll tell me a little bit about you.
That's right, everyone. Come on in the room. Come on, kids. Anna's doing something special. Come on in.
This is all about magic and harmony with the elements and the fae. So I think there's a certain playfulness to it.
Yeah. Is there a message or advice that we can ask, like how we can go forward and invite other people into this room to come talk with us?
I would say we have to make them feel safe.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest thing. You know, I think as a team we're very approachable. I think we are very empathetic, but that may not be enough. It might be it might be a little bit harder, a little bit extra work to make these people feel comfortable. Like they say at the Oliver House, right? You know, like it took time to work with those spirits and get them to trust them. So,
thank you so much for letting us come here. We will not do anything to harm you. I would love to keep you safe. I know this is your safe space, and we love that.
Do you want me to move over?
Oh, okay.
I'm so happy that you were able to have a home here and make your own family. At least you had that. Or still have it.
And we're just here to share that with you for the next 2 nights. I brought balloons that we can pull out tomorrow night.
Ah, cool, he brought the balloons.
And they glow in the dark.
That's cool for everybody, kids and adults.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sounds like you, can you go get your friends as well to come in this room? We can talk more about the sticks and toys. Cold chill just went through my whole body.
That's insane.
Should we put that over there on the other side? You want me to put that on the other side?
I almost didn't want to approach.
I didn't either,
okay.
but now that
it's quiet, yeah.
And surprise to everybody who watched that clip, we're now back with the Lime Coolers who own the Belvoir Winery and Inns. Hi guys,
Woo!
How you doing all the way out there?
Hello.
Hello. I've got a glass of wine to showcase the evening, so cheers to you guys. Thank you for having us out. So appreciate the adventure that went down there. But starting into it, what did you guys think of the episode? At least the first part of the episode.
I thought it was amazing. Mind blown, especially with the whole water pipe breaking and the Scorpio water sign. I'm a Scorpio. I was a swimmer, but the douche of water, unbelievable.
Yeah, and thank you guys for responding so fast because we were panicked that we destroyed everything within 15 minutes.
Yeah. She was so calm.
I know.
She was so calm in the basement. Yeah. I'm like, we almost ruined your place.
I know. Like, let's talk about the angelic nature of Melissa for 1 second.
Let's.
We're melting down. And again, this isn't on the show because we obviously stopped filming so we could help. But Carol and I went down into the basement. Anna needed to deal with herself upstairs. And We went down into the basement and Melissa came to help us out. And like, we're just looking at all these antiques, just very narrowly missing the water. And like, I can feel myself shaking. And Melissa's like, you know what? We got this. Don't worry about it, you guys. Hope it doesn't spoil your investigation. And I'm thinking like, you know what I say?
The roles reversed. I was down there to move some of that stuff out of the way, and you guys had an investigation to do, yet you all were the ones down there helping me move stuff out of the way. I felt so bad.
Oh my God, yes, of course. Of course you're helping.
You all did not have to do that, but I greatly appreciate it. My mom and my grandmother appreciate it.
Oh God.
Of course. So
well, and meanwhile too, while you guys are doing that, Anna's running in front of camera after camera saying, I need to get the towels. And it's fantastic.
There weren't enough towels.
Yeah.
There's one thought. That was the only thought. I was like, okay, my mom would be mad if I got her floors wet. I have to get towels and get them.
Well, yeah, and like honestly, like thank God you did, because the only thing I thought of was literally like we go into caveman brain, like sticking my thumb in the hose. That's like as far as I made it.
Seeing
And it's
the towels.
And then I think Carol came up with a bucket, a big bucket. I don't know.
Where'd you get the bucket?
Like out of nowhere.
Honestly,
Where did you guys have that bucket? Where did that come from? And the towels are the reason I realized there was no water. I was like, where's the water? Got a big problem.
Anyway, you guys proved yourselves very calm under pressure. It was amazing.
Fantastic.
Thank
I
you.
would give my personal self, I think that was I had a C-, but everyone else did pretty good.
Still passing, Ty. Still passing.
Still passing, barely passing grade. We have a bunch of people in Facebook right now saying hi to the Lime Coolers. You guys are a bit of celebrities out here in the paranormal world at this point. So love to see the reception that we're getting so far. And one question that is wondering about this, and this is just my office and how it always is. So I don't know why people are questioning it.
Yes. That's a very handsome man, I will say.
That he helps me get through the workday every once in a while. It's a strong father figure that helps give me guidance throughout the day. If I'm questioning myself, if there's self-doubt, I think to myself, what would Jesse do? And there we go.
That bow tie is really quite exceptional.
It is.
Banging. Let's be talking about like this is
that is tied too. That is not a clip-on.
As it should be.
And I don't know if you can notice it, but look, it matches the polka dot pocket square that's in there.
Yes.
I can't quite see that, but I trust the style.
I'll send a picture in.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
This is everything. Cool. So let's see here. We got a question for Anna. Anna, do you want to talk us through a little bit about the OM session that happened for you?
Yeah. So I really like to use the OM when we need a little bit of guidance, so to speak. I have this theory that the staves themselves have spirits kind of connected to them. So I hope it makes it easier for the spirits within a location to communicate with us in that way. So where we had so much like initial activity, I was hoping for some solid answers or some just like a feeling of what was going on. And so the one that I pulled really is kind of, I associate it with a little bit of whimsy, a little bit of magic. You know, it's associated with, like I said, the Fae. So it definitely feels connected to what happened with a little bit of chaos, a little bit of fun, you know. So I think it's probably a little too dead on for my comfort, but I'll take it.
I love that, Anna. It was so cool that you were able to bust it out there too. It was awesome. Again, while we have the Lime Coolers on tonight for this after show, make sure that you're dropping questions specifically for them in both the comment section. We'll make sure that they get to them. They have a lot of experience here historically with the inn as well as paranormally, which gets me to my next question, which is both for Melissa and Carol. Carol, you had an experience in the ballroom, and that links up a bit with an experience that Melissa has had. First, Melissa, would you like to walk us through that experience and what it was like for you to see Carol have that similar experience that you've had?
I have no words for it. I was speechless when I saw it. in just to see, and I don't think I had told you all about that, and just to see her explain it in the exact same way that I would explain it to somebody, it was crazy. I was like, whoa, that's just surreal.
Yeah. And Carol, what happened to you exactly? Because why don't you walk us through? Because watching it, there's so much more to hear from like an actual story,
So it just felt like actual flesh. You're like, that sounds weird, but if someone touches you with their finger or their hand, you can feel it. And I had already gotten that static charge. And so it caught my attention, but immediately I was like, oh my God, that's actually like somebody's hand or fingers touching me. But what got me is when like the meters went off at the same time. Then I was like, okay, now I'm really hyper focused that was not just in my mind or anything like that. And then Melissa, when you had told Ty, I think you had just told him, it was after you saw the video, he told me, he was like, Melissa was touched the exact same way. I was like, my God, that's so validating.
Well, and it's interesting because when that happened to me, there was somebody else with me, but 10 feet in front of me, there was absolutely no one behind me. And like you said, when you've been touched, and I kept thinking,
right, did
I imagine that? And then but it really felt like somebody poked me. And then when I saw that happen to you, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I love when experiences like that corroborate. It just adds a bit more importance to the event, I would say. Because we're a bunch of, paranormal investigators that try to stay as calm as possible. But like we can get carried away. So it's really cool when, like other people really chime in that are just like this, evidence happened the exact same way. I love that. And let me go for it.
Speaking of evidence real quick, what did that mechanic say to you? I just want to hear it from you.
Yeah. So that we found, we came later on and found out about what had happened with the ice machine. And then the guy came out to fix it a few days later. And he told me that he basically said that valve it like snapped off basically. And he said that valve never snaps off. He says he's been in business 26 years. And he said he's seen something like that one other time. And he had that machine is not that old. It shouldn't really honestly do that. Except for when Anna comes in with her crazy stones and then things like that happen.
For real.
Yeah, the machine itself, everything looked pristine. It really didn't look old at all, but it was just crazy to hear that.
Yeah. Thanking God wasn't the sprinklers. That's thank God for that. Secondarily,
everything in my body dropped when he said that sprinklers. It was awful.
Secondarily, Jesse, would you like to have us back out and have Anna do a money spell?
He clearly can produce when it matters. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you put her under enough stress, she's like a diamond. So like,
it'd be amazing.
That's Anna.
Amazing.
She's cool that turns into a diamond if you just push her hard enough, so she can get you that money spell.
Yeah, I'll give her all the wine she wants just to work that money spell.
Oh, that's tempting.
I will legitimately would make the trip back for the mattresses in the inn.
That water pressure though?
Yeah.
Like
so good.
Reading in my journal that like in my room there's like a ghost that shakes the bed and the ghost that's in the bathroom, and it was like for me it'd be like, ghost, you need to tear me out of the shower if you want me to notice you, because this water pressure right now is life. So
yeah, if there was any hauntings at all, I did not care. I was not paying attention. I was so comfortable.
Yeah, and we have up on the screen right now for you guys, if you're local, or if not, after the pandemic passes, definitely would recommend booking your stay at the Belvoir Inn and getting a wine tasting, just to meet the lime coolers. And then beyond that, if you like ghost stuff, that's cool too. But like, what an amazing experience to spend a few nights there. It was super exceptional.
Yeah.
And pivoting off of that, Jesse, you're at the winery quite a bit.
Yes.
Can you describe the campus as a whole in brevity better than we did on camera, like the buildings, everything that's there, and then a little bit about what you think, in your opinion, might be the most haunted location?
Yeah. So the building we're in right now actually is the winery building. It used to be the orphanage. And then the next two buildings are what you referred to as the nursing home, the old folks home. And then the last building on the end is the hospital. And I mean, between all four buildings, there's roughly about 300,000 square foot on site. So these are giant buildings. Sometimes, a little screen doesn't do it justice how big these buildings are. And then surrounding that, I mean, we have a couple outbuildings, but we have 170 acres. So we're literally in the middle of a city where there's nothing but green space all around us. And then at the end of that green space is a city. It's really weird. It's kind of an odd oasis in the middle of the city.
So we had a question, I'll just pause you just for a second. Holden Cross asked us if there's any water on the property. Is there a river or anything like that?
We do have a stream out on front. It used to be actually a lake, and the dam that made the lake is currently breached. So at some point we'd like to restore it and put the lake back out there. But right now it's just a stream that's fed by actually springs. We have multiple springs on site. When the original hotel was here before the winery, it was actually a spa style hotel where they could come and like bathe in the healing springs kind of things and take boat rides on the lake and all that kind of stuff. So
that's incredible.
So yeah, but like some of our most haunted like experiences have been around water. Like Fort Knox, there's a natural spring under that, and then there were theories about the Androscoggin River with the GRCC. So this is a lot of synchronicity happening.
Yeah, and those springs and stuff, they were actually created without Anna's help. I mean, they just
That's right.
You're never gonna live that down, Anna.
Oh my God, it helps. It helps with the guilt. It's okay.
When we say make it rain.
Yeah.
Jesse, did you see the speed I got up to running down that hallway in the slippery shoes, though?
Maybe. Does anyone have Jesse's phone number?
I was so scared when someone called Jesse, because like obviously we put our phones away at the beginning of the investigation so they don't interfere with any equipment. But sometimes you really need a phone.
There's like 4 to 5 minutes cut out of. Have you gotten a hold of Jesse? Anybody got a hold of Melissa? Anyone? Phone? Anyone calling?
Do it. Man,
awesome.
So Jesse, what would you think, based on your experience, is because you haven't seen the second episode where we really get into it?
I haven't.
What would you say is, in your experience, and as well as hearing from others, would be the most haunted location on campus?
For me personally, it's this building. It's the winery building. It's where I've seen 3 apparitions in this building. And that's 3 apparitions over, 20 some years. So it's not like we have them just flying around here all the time. But I mean, man, when you see an apparition, I mean, that's pretty scary stuff. Voices and footsteps are relatively common. We're actually here in the building all alone right now. I'm waiting for some noise to start happening behind us. But I mean, it's really common, which is kind of weird. I tend to not pay too much attention to them because I just, usually I'm running a business. I don't have time to go tracking down every footstep, but unlike you guys who run down the hallways as quickly as possible.
Yeah, true story.
I used to get freaked out texts from Jesse when we first opened. Their footsteps. Wait, the piano's playing.
Yeah.
Oh, there was some other noise. And now he doesn't text me about those anymore.
Yeah.
So Melissa, when you guys acquired it, had you heard rumblings that it might be haunted, or were you guys the ones that kind of like broke the case?
No. We were like, absolutely, it's not haunted. The buildings are run down. Please stay out. Just there used to be a haunted house in the orphanage. So we're like, no, it's not haunted. And then once we renovated and then we started spending time in here and weird things started happening, you see things, you hear things, you get touched. You're like, oh, okay. It might be haunted.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That must be like some kind of weird paradigm shift that you can really go only 2 ways on that, where you can break or you can embrace it, So
yeah,
more power to you guys to kind of incorporate it into your theme, and having people like Amy Bruni out, hosting like bomb events. Like, it's really cool that you guys were able to really spin it into kind of the identity of the place and honor it.
For the record, it's not hard to get Amy Bruni out when you have really good wine in your place.
That's true. Cheers to Bruni.
She does have excellent taste, for sure.
For sure. Oh my God. It like, honestly, so again, for the viewers, because they need to know how generous the lime coolers are, when we got there, there was a bottle for each of us sitting outside of our hotel doors. And it was just,
I'd say you guys earned it.
Bottles and
With the
chocolate.
deluge.
Yes, the
chocolate.
chocolate.
Mhm.
Cookies and chocolate covered fruit.
And
God.
so the theme of Haunt Me season 7 is a massive road trip that got very hard very fast. And so what I think anyone watching the show needs to know is that it became a ritual because there were, I think there's 9 of us on the team. Krista stayed behind, and so there were 8 of us traveling, I think. So there was 8 bottles of wine that got rationed out like gold throughout the next 6 days of the trip. Of like, our ritual was go investigate, and then before you go to sleep, someone has a bottle that hasn't been cracked open yet, and the investigators need first dibs. So that's how it went. I remember we were dead at the end of the last stop, which was Post Town School. It hurt, like it was a really rough investigation, and we got back to our hotel room at probably like 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, aching, so tired. And I just
So much pain.
all sitting in my hotel room, and we had 2 bottles left, and we were like,
Crack them open.
yeah, crack them open.
Let's do this.
Here's the thing, though. We just get through a week of investigating, and then we're like, let's crack some wine open and tell our scariest ghost stories that we've ever experienced. Like, that's a great idea.
For real, honestly, that stayed up pretty long then.
Fantastic.
Man.
So a question for Jesse and Melissa. Where did the Belvoir Winery get its name?
So my parents, it was their vision to turn this property into a winery, and actually my mom. And there's also a castle in Scotland called Belvoir. I think the English call it Beaver Castle, but French for beautiful view. And so it's an homage to that. And the property, like we said, it's about 170 acres, and it's its own little oasis in the city. So it really is, you come out here and it's just the most peaceful, beautiful, scenic view. You can go out onto our front patio, one of the side patios, and just enjoy a glass of wine and look. When I was driving up tonight, there were 9 or 10 deer. So they like to eat our grapes, but but it's really just a beautiful place to sit and enjoy, and just your own little oasis. So
I loved it. It was almost like we were there for 3 days. We did 2 nights, and it was one of those things where, like, as the sun started to set, we knew we had to go back to work. It was rough to stop relaxing and have to do it. So before we have another clip for the teaser for next week. Without giving away any spoilers, Melissa, did anything, since you've seen the next episode, what were some of your thoughts that you could kind of tease the viewers about of what you saw and what they could be aware of for the next episode?
For the next episode, I'm not saying a word. I think you're just gonna have to watch. There were so many things, and the way it all pulls together, and you guys just did some interesting, fun things that had not been done before. So that's all I'm gonna say.
That's good enough of a tease for me. So I just want to let everyone know that the next episode, if you go back to YouTube, the premiere countdown will be there. If you click it, set a reminder, it'll pop up on your screen, so you don't even need to think about it. And that will be Belvoir Part 2, which will be out in 2 weeks. I can't do the math in my head of what that date is, but if anyone in the comments would like to post
October 4th.
October 4th, Jesse did it. So
October 5th is my birthday. That's the only reason I knew it. So.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
The king.
Yes, we'll just watch the show, and then we'll just stay up and drink till it is my birthday. So that would be great.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
We should, like, Jesse, I do want to talk to you after the next episode just because of everything that went down. Yeah. We'll have Dustin and Rihanna on the next talk back after the show, but after that, I'm just going to call you and hang out if that's okay.
Yeah. And you may I don't know if you mentioned, but you mentioned a little, but I haven't watched any of the shows. My wife has seen them all, but I intentionally did not watch the shows. I want to see them live, just like everybody else, and react like everybody else. I was doing the chat this evening, and
Loved it.
I want to do the same, where you're just reacting to every single thing and saying, what the hell is that? So.
Yes, please come into the chat next week and do the same thing. It was awesome having you there.
So great.
Yeah,
That's
it was.
Before we go into the teaser for next week with Dustin Perry and Rihanna Wilson, who were necessary to guest star because your campus is so huge. So thank God we had 5 people there. Did anything surprise you besides Anna's water spell? Did anything surprise you, Jesse, about the first episode or our techniques or how we worked? Any thoughts there?
I appreciate that you were relatively calm in what you were doing, even when water was spewing everywhere. Because a lot of times, people come out here and they just get so skittish or jumpy or things like that. And I appreciate that you came out and just kind of did it at a calm level, even when things were happening around you. You may say something like, "What was that?" But I mean, there was not huge jumps or anything like that. And you can tell usually that people are doing a good job when they do that. So I appreciate that. Just from a respect, as far as the property goes.
And I really appreciate those words. And I'm sorry about the next episode.
Teaser will show Ty screaming like a girl. So
Yeah,
that'll be great.
yeah, 100%. There's a moment that you're going to be like, but this
Take
might
it all
be
back.
warranted, though.
Yeah.
It might be warranted. So thank you guys for coming on the talk back. Really appreciate you guys being here to have your opinion and your viewpoints, because you know the place so well. And then, of course, from all of us, thank you so much for having us out and making this possible.
It was awesome.
And
Oh,
I just
good.
really miss you guys, and I want to hang out again soon. So
Oh,
can't
we'll
wait.
We
do
can't
it.
wait. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you for having us. Yes.
Absolutely. So if you guys, big round of applause, make some noise in the chat room for these two. Love having them on and love being able to share these experiences with them.
Thank you.
And then we will be bouncing into a sneak peek for you guys of episode the day before Jesse's birthday, which is October 4th. So let's
October
kick that.
6th. It's October 6th. It's actually after Jesse's birthday.
Is
it really?
Jesse's birthday?
Yeah. Yeah, Jesse's going to drink.
Expect candles. Yes.
What's that?
Okay, cool. October 6th, everybody. 2 weeks from today, October 6th is when the next episode will be out. Next week is an epic Thai Tuesday. It's a without a recipe disaster, so that'll go over on Tuesday. Then the week after will be the Belvoir finale, which is October 6th, the day after Jesse's birthday. And here's a quick little look.
Remember, there will be a quiz.
Can't wait.
You just have to step near it.
1, 2, 3.
Awesome. Hello.
I don't know what is going on.
And the trailer illustrated that it is indeed October 6th that we'll be back. So thank you for that, Anna. I'm glad you caught that.
It's
So
quarantine.
October 5th,
Time is relative.
it's really hard. So on October 5th, make sure you reach out to the Belvoir Facebook page. Wish Jesse a happy birthday. He deserves it. And then the day after, we will finalize our episode, which is probably one of my most exciting events that I've ever been on. And so glad I got to do it with you guys and Dustin and Rihanna. It was exceptional.
Yeah, I had a blast. I wouldn't trade this season for anything.
Absolutely. This was so fun. The road trip was so fun. I'm going to do my little spiel now. You guys ready for this?
We're ready.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you guys for joining tonight. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. That is youtube.com/HauntMeOfficial. It means a lot to us that you subscribe, even more that you hit the like button. The like button makes us be seen, and you guys are the ones that power this forward. Also, if you want to support us and make sure that there's a season 8 after this pandemic is over, go to coffee.com/HauntMeOfficial. All of the footage that you don't get to see in the episodes, journals, blogs from the investigators, as well as sound clips and evidence and bloopers are live there behind a paywall because that keeps us going and keeps the seasons moving. You can also find us at instagram.com/HauntMeOfficial, as well as Facebook under the same @ sign, and Twitter. Anna runs the Twitter, Anna runs the Instagram, and you'll find me on the Facebook. So that was that. How'd I do?
Great, you nailed it.
Woo,
Thank
you
you.
are
I've
getting
never done that before.
so good.
I've never done that before, but seriously, we really appreciate you guys finding us on those channels, supporting the show. If you do go to coffee, we'll make sure that we pay back your patronage with some cool stuff. With like, we don't just want to take your hard-earned cash. We want to make sure that it's worth something to you. So we're working really hard over there. Shout out to Krista Ryle, who mans that. She's exceptional. So if you're talking at our shop, which is great, she just created a new shop. If you want Haunt Me merch, which is pretty sweet. This past week, I designed a sigil for health and safety, so we can have those nice little face masks for you guys, because that's the time of the year that we're in. We have rune readings there. We have OM readings there for you guys. The shop's pretty exceptional, and just want to thank Krista for that as well. So that is haunt-me.com/shop. Find the goodies.
Nailed
there.
it.
Binge, get some good stuff. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. We have a comment that says, will you be serving Belvoir wine at future Haunt Me events? And if only that was possible, I would love to. So anyways, come back next week for an epic Tie Tuesday. It's probably my favorite that we've ever made. And then the week after that, we will see you for the Belvoir conclusion. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Anna and Carol.
Bye.